Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks podcast. I am your host, Jim Edwards, along with my trusty co-host and podcast producer, Mr. Stu Smith. And we are under the impression that today is podcast episode number 154. I want to pause here for just a moment, and I want to draw your attention to the fact that we have done this 154 times. How many things in your life have you done 154 times that don't involve a bathroom or a kitchen? All right, think about that. 154 times we have managed to show up and bring the value and do this. So the cool thing is that consistency creates results. And that is one of the biggest, most important lessons that anybody can get from all of this, is that we have to be consistent. Doing it once or twice, doing it halfway isn't going to create results. It's only after we do something consistently and do it long enough that we actually do see those results. So the other one is that if Jim and Stu can do it, you know you can do it, because we're not because we're stupid, but because we're busy. So,
and if it's not on the schedule, it doesn't exist. So put it on the schedule.
That is absolutely true. So, so here we go. So what are we talking about today, Stu?
Jim, we're going to talk about your theme of the week, which is content creation.
Ooh.
Right? And the what I think we came up with the 3 fastest ways to create content.
Okay.
So if you say you just don't have enough time to create content, by golly, we're going to give you 3 fast ways to do it.
So are we going to do this so fast that it's like we're done in 5 minutes, or do I need to stretch this out a little bit, or how do you want? I mean, you want me to? What do you want me to do?
Well, it is fast. It could be fast, but we can explain it in a little greater detail. Maybe tell some stories, give some results, give some I don't know, our own little hero's journey to content creation.
All right. Well, I got to get my stand-up camera to work. So give me one quick second. Oh, hey, I wanted to tell you, because this is kind of cool, but I spent a little bit of time with my builder yesterday. They've put the shell and everything is up for the Guaranteed Response Marketing new Guaranteed Response Marketing International Headquarters. Otherwise known as the room above the garage that's being built. But we got it all laid out. I'm going to have, dude, this is going to be awesome.
It's going to be like a studio?
Yeah. In my office, I'm going to have a kitchen. I'm going to have my own bathroom. I'm going to have a urinal in the bathroom. I finally get my dream of having a urinal in my bathroom.
A urinal in the house is...
That's
awesome.
Deluxe, man. That's deluxe.
Yeah,
so then I'm gonna have my own, like I said, I'm gonna have my own kitchen with my own cool bar, and then I'm gonna have 3 studios. I'm gonna have one that's like that's made just for the whiteboard. So it's gonna have black all around it and everything. Then I'm gonna have another studio for my broadcasts on Zoom and stuff. So I'm going to have multiple monitors so that I can see everybody. You know, like you see those pictures of like Tony Robbins and all those guys with, you see hundreds of people. I'm going to be able to do that. I'm going to do that.
Sweet.
And then I'm going to have another part of the studio another part of the thing that's going to be set up like a library. So I'm going to have because I have a library at the other house. So I'm going to bring my library from the other house over. So I'm going to have like this cool library with the leather chair and everything and a table so that we can do, sophisticated stuff.
Nice.
And then I'm going to have one other part that's going to be all the walls are going to be painted green. So it's going to be a permanent green screen setup, which is going to be really cool. So it's going to be really neat. I'm excited. So you're going to have to come down and we'll film some cool stuff.
Yeah.
We'll be able to do like that actor studio stuff. We'll get us a couple chairs and a fern and some 3x5 cards and act like we know what the heck we're talking about. So that's going to be cool. So what did I just do there? I just showed you how to create content. You like what I did there?
There you go.
Tell a story. tell a personal story, and I like to call it a personal anecdote. So I just created content there. And you're like, oh, Jim, when are you going to get to the content, Jim? I was creating the content right there in front of your face.
You know what?
I created the content. I created the content by telling a story. Now, some of you might not have been interested in the story. Some people are like, hey, that's kind of cool. Steve said a humidor with bubblegum cigars. That'd be pretty cool, man. That'd be very cool. We're gonna.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Because I don't smoke, don't do cigars or any of that stuff because it rots your face off.
But I'll do bubblegum.
I'll have some beers in the fridge for you, Stu. So that's a number one way. Tell a story. And tell a story that's something about you. And that's a great way to create content, especially if your audience is interested in it. And at least one person was interested. You know, it's like Stu was like, hey, that's kind of cool. Other people were interested, maybe they weren't, but you're gonna finally, you know, see some different stuff here in the next few months once they get it all done. Oh, the other thing, you may not know this about me, Stu, but I am deathly afraid of heights. Don't like heights, don't do heights, hate heights, don't do heights. This from the person who wanted to go to airborne school, but maybe God was looking out for me. He's like, nah, you're gonna fail. Just don't go. I had to climb a 15-foot ladder to get upstairs to do the layout with the builder. And I'm like, dude, can't we wait till the stairs get in? He said, nope, because we're coming to frame on Thursday. And so I've got to know what you want up there. And so that was an interesting thing of overcoming fear by having a bigger fear, the fear of having the thing not laid out the way I wanted or having to wait longer was a bigger fear than the fear of climbing that ladder.
That's a good one. Never thought of it that way, but I probably have gotten over some fears in my life with the same mentality.
Right. So the other thing, though, was that after I did it, it wasn't as scary. The ladder didn't fall over. All the images that I made in my mind didn't come true. And even though the builder was laughing at me because he's in his 30s and stuff, he's a cool dude. I like him. He showed me how to get back on the ladder to get back down. And when I watched him do it, I was like, oh, okay. So grab here, grab there, swing your leg around and get on down and then just go. And you know what? Going down wasn't scary at all. So that's another lesson is if you don't know how to do something and you're scared of it, perhaps watching somebody else do it or hiring a coach to walk you through it was how you could overcome your fear really, really easily. Now, what I want you to notice there, Stu.
What'd you do, Jim?
I told the story, but this is a mechanical example now, okay? I told the story in the form of an interview, meaning I had somebody else on me. We did it as a video, but guess what? I can take that video and have it transcribed at otter.ai. I can take that now, just you and I talking, having a conversation. I can take that snippet and I can put it over into Otter, have it transcribed, do a quick edit, and it can become an article. So that's the second way, is to create content by just having a conversation, then have it transcribed and turned into text, or could use it as a video. Hey, here's a quick video where I talk about almost falling down the ladder in my new that'd be my hook. You know, I almost fell down the ladder in my garage, or the time I almost fell down in my garage. You know, whatever. I'd find something in there. How fear of heights. How I overcame fear of height in 2 easy steps.
There you go.
Or 15 easy steps
up
and down the ladder. So that's another way to create content, is to create it like we're doing here. Everybody's got a freaking webcam now. Everybody's got a microphone. Everybody knows how to use Zoom. Just use that. to create your content, and use otter.ai to get it transcribed. Yes, you can use Rev, and have a human do it. But for a short little snippet, it's a lot cheaper to use Otter, and it's also a lot faster because you're not waiting for somebody to transcribe it and get it back to you. All right. So that's the second way, the second fast way to create content. And then the third fast way to create content is to repurpose existing content. I know this is hard to believe that everybody is not hanging on your every word every time you actually put something out. But statistics say that when you put stuff out on social media, even through email, whatever way that you're using to communicate and distribute that content, only around 5% of the people are seeing it. So what that means, Stu, how many people aren't seeing it?
95.
Okay, good. Good job. So here's the thing. 95% of the people aren't seeing it, which means you put out all this work and you're only getting 5% of the benefit. So you can repurpose it. You can also redistribute it. And that's why we like using the tool that we use inside of Content Marketing Scripts. We use the Hello Woofy, which is part of your Content Marketing Script subscription when you join Content Marketing Scripts. But see, what this allows you to do is take that exact same content, and this is a calendar, okay? So you can post it today, and then you can automatically say, okay, hey, post it again that month, and then that month, and then that month. You can just reuse it. And what we found is that just by reposting stuff again, like in the middle of the night, like most of my users are seeing my stuff, it's daytime. But there's a whole other half of the world that's awake when we're asleep. And so social media and everything's driven by the feed, driven by the now. So what we do is we're reusing it, and not only are we redistributing it to the people that we want to hit, that we're hitting now, but we're also redistributing it in the middle of the night, so it's showing up in people's feed somewhere else in the world. So the third way to create content is not to create content, but to squeeze more juice out of the content that you're creating, which is huge. And that'll help you to get better results and better manage your time. Because it's not just about creating content, it's about systematically distributing it and then using that content to create connections with people so that ultimately you can monetize, which enables you to enrich everyone in the process. Because if you're not doing this ultimately to make money, you can't keep the train of value. You can't keep the value train moving on down the trail.
No.
It's called volunteer work. So,
hey, would you like to hear my 3?
I would love to hear your 3.
They're actually, one's similar, but 2 are a little bit different.
Okay.
So my first one, and this is me personally, is answer questions.
Oh, yeah.
I answer questions, whether they are specific questions to me via email or DMs or in person, as article posts. I answer them if it's a customer service issue. All of those things are great sources for content.
Absolutely.
In fact, I'm writing an article right now. Somebody sent me an email. I'm writing an article right now with his email in it, and I'm just answering it.
Yeah.
Ask Stu.
And I know that when we talk about technology to make it easier, one of the things that you can do is actually use your phone. I guess that's an old iPhone now because the new iPhones don't have the button, but that's an iPhone. But one of the things that you can do is literally, talk it into the phone. I love to answer questions using Otter, and then that's how I can get it done. So
Awesome.
this is when I do my morning walk and talk, which is becoming my habit in the morning before I do my workout. I'll warm up for like 20 or 30 minutes just with walking. And yesterday, Susan sent me a question that she wanted me to answer for the Jim Edwards Method Premium update that goes on Friday. So she sent me a question and was like, it's automatic. Here's the question I want you to answer to create the content. So I walk down the road, talk it out. And then when I'm walking back, I listen back to it at like 1.5 speed. And then I'll make whatever additional comments and stuff right in the Otter app. And it works great. And then I get back, I edit the thing, and boom, Bob's your uncle. And it's a great way, especially when you're using it with wizards and other stuff like that, to be able to come up with content really fast. By the way, the number one way to come up with cool content is to use the wizards. Whether it's the wizards inside of the Jim Edwards Method Premium or inside of Content Marketing Scripts, that's how you're going to create content faster than by any other means.
100%.
Just as an aside. Okay, what's your second way, Stu?
My number 2 is, you're going to think it's cheating, but Google it.
What do you mean?
Google it.
What do you mean?
So what I do is, here's the way you do it, though. You Google in general and search for specific.
Okay, give me an example because I'm still not following.
So like I would say fitness articles.
Okay.
Right? I would literally Google fitness articles if I'm going to write an article. Okay. And then you just scan through them all. And then next thing you know, you see an article called Fitness Article Topics. You go through that, and it's literally 100 different topics. You're like, wow, this is a lot of ideas here. So you could actually just Google it.
Okay. So basically, this is for idea generation.
Yeah, but it's, my ideas turn into content within 30 minutes.
Sure. Yeah, because you've got the frameworks.
So that's sometimes I just need an idea to create content, and this is where I get a lot of ideas from.
You need the stimulation.
Yeah. My final one, Jim, and it is not so much. It is a content creation. I realize that's more of an idea creation. I get it. This is more of a content multiplier, similar to your number 3. But once I get a topic and I kind of have a theme, I go with that whole theme for as many ways as I possibly can. Okay. That means live video, article, meme. Let me see. In fact, if you really want to see what we came up with, you can go to podcast 140 where we did on the number 1 content marketing, repurposing content with more than 500 combinations. Podcast 140. So text, picture, graphic, live video, screen capture, podcast, webinar,
quote cards,
Facebook, Instagram. Yeah. And then at the end of the day, we know what I do?
What?
I write it down in my marketing diary. Because I like to see that list be at least 7 to 8 lines long.
Every day.
This is what I did today for marketing.
Yeah. And that's really the accountability aspect of it. That was another thing that, just as an aside, we talked about in the Jim and Stu show of what I learned at the International Maxwell Certification. One of the other big themes is accountability. Just, being accountable to yourself. And that's what your marketing diary does. It keeps you accountable to yourself. Hey, I committed to doing this, and it also gives you a scorecard to track. Because it's
you can look at previous days and forgot to post it on there. Got to do one more step. So.
And that's an interesting concept of that's actually a leading indicator as opposed to lagging indicators. So okay, if I do 7 or 8 marketing related things every single day, then you can track, okay, I know if I do this, my income is gonna go up, my subscription are gonna go up, good things are gonna happen, as opposed to a lagging indicator where if I'm not doing this, then maybe sales aren't going to go down right away. It's not like they're just going to crash, especially when we're talking about content marketing stuff. But if you don't do that for a week, somewhere out there, sales are going to go down. Even if you start doing it again regularly, you're still going to have that dip. So it's like working out. As an aside, I had some guy come up to me and was like, "Man, I didn't think you'd be in such good shape." At the thing.
Come on.
And I'm like, well, thank you.
I'm offended.
But I also knew in my heart, I've been struggling with workouts for the last few months just because of an injury and other stuff. And I'm like, I said thank you and I left it at that. But in my own head, I was like, I'm not in as good a shape as I should be or could be.
Yeah.
And I felt almost like a fraud, if that makes sense. And that's a lagging indicator. The body doesn't reflect, or on the surface, it doesn't reflect what's truly going on inside, if that makes sense. It's just kind of a weird thing. But what it did was it motivated me. So I was going to tell you this but I'll just tell everybody because I put my business out in the street. But I decided, because of what's been going on with my shoulder, tomorrow I've got an appointment with a massage therapist. I'm going, instead of just sitting there being upset because something's going on, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to go see somebody and get it fixed. So it's not a source of an excuse, if that makes sense. So if there's something in your business that you're like, this is the thing that's holding me back, well, stop letting it hold you back. Do something about it. Hire somebody to help you. Get a new plan. Attack it from a different angle. But don't just sit in your couch and cry. Do something about it.
Because I promise you, it will not get better if you decide to not do anything.
Right.
It's not going to get better by doing nothing.
Right. And everything starts to fall apart.
Yeah.
So anyway, those are good, man. I love this one. This should be everybody's number one right here. This should be everybody's number one. Maybe it was my number one because, mine was kind of I answered a question. You're like, what's a fast way? And I answered it. It was like stories. So maybe I said this one first. I don't know.
Could be.
I'm kidding.
I like the story idea. The story idea is a great idea.
Well, you can answer a question with a story. So this right here, this is your number one go-to way to create content fast. Just answer a freaking question.
Yeah.
It's
multiple avenues too. Multiple ways of getting it out there.
Yeah. It's your idea and it's your ideation, it's your avatar, your idea, and your creation all rolled into one, because somebody in your target audience asked this question. So it's important to your audience. The idea is in the question, and then the creation is just answer the freaking question. And we have lots of really cool wizards to help you answer questions and stuff. So that was good. I think we've done what we needed to do, and to prove to people that you can create content fast. I think that's it. You got any other final thoughts for the kids?
My last thing on answering questions. One of my favorite ways to answer a question, obviously, by actually answering an email, but I do a live Q&A session every week. And I will get, in an hour show, it's an hour show, I will get, I don't know, probably 40, 50 questions where, I get a lot of, first of all, it's funny because I've already answered the questions before, and 9 times out of 10, I can say, wrote an article about it. Here it is. And so I share a lot of content on those live Q&As in the actual comment section. So like, here, read this article, but here's my 30-second answer. For more information, read this article. and it's just such a great way to like pull them into, your world of, blogs and answers and information on your store and website and all of that.
That's a great point. If I was as organized as you, I'd be able to do that. But I can't remember what I did last week. So
Well, I'm lucky because how your computer, when you start typing common things that you go to regularly, like if somebody asks me about beginner fitness, right? I can say beginner and it pops up, on the Google search or whatever, the little drop down thing, and it's like, boom, there's the article. I don't even have to write the whole thing out.
So what you're saying is that you're so good that Google is your personal assistant.
That is correct. I don't have one, so Google is mine. Yes.
Nice.
No, but
that's smart. I like it. All right. Well, that was the sales copywriting content marketing hacks. There you go. All right. Yep. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, David, for the comment. Appreciate that. And we will see you all next time on the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks podcast. So everybody have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.